I've just been thinking today. I've been thinking about this quite a long time, but it's really becoming evident to me that if you're coming out of school or you're in school at the moment, or just if you're sort of floating around in life, possibly stuck in a job that you dislike or that's it's not very fulfilling, I would, apart from sleep, you probably spend the majority of your days, at work. And for me personally, I really, if I could go back, I wish I would have focused a lot of my time in my youth. It's easy obviously to say this, but I would have focused it on trying to, work on myself in a way that would get a job that is extremely fulfilling and something that I really enjoy, something that when I get up to go in to do, it's easy to get up to go and do because it's actually something that I look forward to. I just think it's crucial. The reason why, obviously, it's very important. For me personally, the reason why I didn't pursue this as a child was because I don't know if it's the way society teaches us or doesn't teach us, you put it that way, is that I don't think, or I wasn't ever encouraged to get into a job that I find really enjoyable. For whatever reason, I can't tell you now, but looking back on it, my mentality was always just get a job that pays as much as you can get, that you deem as being adequate or a good value, a good amount of money that you think is a good amount of money. Now for me, if I remember right, I was thinking if I can earn £24,000 a year, then I'm set with that. This was my mindset at the time. I was very much a sheep. Things have changed since then, but that was my mindset. And now, unfortunately, I got stuck. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Didn't know how to find out what I wanted to do, and basically sort of fell into a job. Dropped out of college because the course I was doing, I wasn't into it. I could tell that I wasn't, because I wasn't into it. I wasn't kind of good enough at it. I didn't think at the time. And ultimately, if you're not going to enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to be as good at it as somebody that would enjoy doing it. So I dropped out of college and then fell into a particular job that I've been doing since. I'm trying to obviously slowly get out of that job because over the last couple of years, I've changed my life radically, changed my belief system radically, changed the belief within myself radically. And now that I do know, just purely through reading and watching other people's videos and learning off other people, that really anything that you put your mind to, anything that you want for yourself is possible. But you have to work very hard at it. I'm, under no illusions. There's times when I procrastinate and don't do things when I want to be doing them. Now, at the end of the day, I'm human. That is going to happen. I'm trying to push myself through sometimes because it depends how much I want what I want. Do I want to stay in the job now that has been enjoyable at times, but just very recently something's changed at work and it's made me again say, no, this is not what I want to be doing. I ideally want to be my own boss. I don't want somebody, you could get a really, something to be aware of. You could get a really good job that you really enjoy doing, but you're working for somebody else. And all it takes is somebody, either a work colleague or somebody above you, to come into a position. And for whatever reason, these people exist. That you've got to be aware of this. Some people just want to make other people's life a misery. Usually because their life is miserable, and obviously they want everybody else's to be miserable too. Now, if you get, say, a boss, you might have a really good boss, and if you have a good boss, usually your job is pretty good, and you'll get, those good bosses will get the most out of their workforce. If they're understanding, if they have people skills, if they focus on keeping their employees happy, then they'll have good employees. But then you get some other people on the other side of the fence where basically think that if you come in with a big stick and start hitting everyone with it, then they do really good work. And those people are stupid. They make everyone else's life misery, and unfortunately the company suffers. Now, for me personally, I want, like I say, if you can, find an interest that you can change into, move into a job that is, where you're self-employed, you are your own boss. You're never going to come across, obviously you're going to probably, you're going to work with other people, but ultimately you're your own boss. They can't tell you what to do, and there's nobody other than you to tell you what you can do. You're solely responsible for what you do. Like I say, if you get something you love, then you'll be good at it. It might take time, and you might think I'm not earning the money I want to earn, but I honestly believe that if you love something, you're going to be interested in it, you're going to study it, you're going to know a lot about it, you've got a lot to offer other people, and your enthusiasm will come across. We've all been somewhere, whether or not it's to a restaurant or some form of business where the person takes pride in what they do. And it's a pleasure to go and do business with people. It's a pleasure to go for a meal at a place with a restaurant who they really care about what they're doing and they love it. That experience compared to a fast food chain to a degree where people are just are in there to earn a little bit of money and then go home. Obviously, the service it's a completely different experience. It's not a great comparison that, but you can see what I mean. So you're coming out of school, if you don't know what it is you want to do, like so many people don't, I would encourage you to ask yourself, questions around what actually in life do you enjoy. What is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most pleasurable, what is it that you enjoy doing the most? And then try and look for a career or look for ways that you can adopt that into a business or into a career opportunity. It doesn't matter what it is. There'll be something out there that you maybe haven't thought of that is to do with that. I mean, you might, as a young child, you might have your heart set, say, on being a footballer. It might turn out that you're not unfortunately gifted enough or lucky enough or in the right place at the right time to be a professional footballer. But it doesn't mean that you can't go on to coach. It doesn't mean that you can't be like a commentator. It doesn't mean you can't be a pundit of some sort. It doesn't mean you can't work on television. It doesn't mean that you can't work for something in the ground or a groundsman. There is a lot of possibilities. You could be a journalist, football or a sports journalist. There are lots of options for lots of different things. We're very lucky in that respect in these day and age. There is lots and lots of jobs out there. And again, just try and find, if it's video games, if you love playing video games, start a YouTube channel. Start. You're going to know a lot about the video games that other people aren't going to know about, and they want to know about it. Just by watching a YouTube video. They want to, and then they might like the way you are. They might like your review of a video game and go and buy the video game. Based on your review. If you put, you're spending the time playing the video games, you understand how they work, and you can see ways to improve them. You could be a games designer. You could get into a company and make, some of the most amazing games that there is, because there's a lack of this, in my opinion, with video games. Everything is like it's films. It's just recycled games, and trying to make a huge amount of money from the laziest video games making I've seen for a long time. There is a few companies out there that aren't like that, and they are the ones that make the biggest games, the best games, and they make the most money. But there's the rest of the pack who just make really basic video games and kind of almost take the mick out of the customers. I won't name some, but there is a few that I have a problem with in that respect. But just get something that you love doing. If you like gardening, if you like cooking, if you like running, if you like going to the gym, you could be a personal trainer. You could set your own gym up. There's lots and lots of things that we can do, but you've just got to ask yourself, what is it I enjoy doing the most? And then really focus on trying to get into that, whether or not you want to do some, extra studies for it. To get a better insight, whether or not you want to save up to get a qualification, say like a personal trainer, get some sort of personal training qualification, and just slowly work on it. Even if you've got a job, keep the job. Don't jack in the job you've got. Keep the job you've got and spend your spare time. Because again, if it's something you enjoy, you will go home and you will want to work on it. And I've found that if I'm making some form of progress, it keeps me feeling good inside. It keeps things rolling along nicely. It also doesn't demoralise you thinking, I'm stuck in this job now for the rest of my life, which is how I have thought of work. I've thought of work as you get a job and that's kind of it, really. Because of, it's not for everyone, some people are ambitious, some people don't. My mindset sucked, my mindset was negative, it was doom and gloom, it was, hide in the shadows, don't stand out. That was my personality, just for how I'd been brought up, how I grew up. But that's all changed, and it's very freeing because I only get one life, and the thought of waking up in a job where you know, I'm not enjoying doing it on a regular basis. There's nothing worse, and it's something's happened at my work at the moment, which is making it really, really difficult. And I'm not looking forward to going tomorrow, and that's not good for me. It's not good for my stress levels. You know, it's not good for the company I work for, really. I mean, I'll give my best. You know, I'm not that sort of person. I have pride. You know, I have morals and stuff. But it's not good if you've got somebody who's unhappy in the job that they're doing. So I'll leave it at that. But really would focus on trying to find out through speaking to other people, you know, people older than you. I don't know how good careers advice is now. I'm sure it's pretty good. I don't know. It wasn't very good, if I'm honest, when I was younger. You didn't get a lot of advice to do with careers. There was not a lot of belief building in young people. You know, when I went to school, to say anything, you know, for you is possible. You know, that you can be an entrepreneur if you want to be. You know, look, being self-employed. Look, do something that you enjoy, not something that earns you a lot of money. Because no matter how much it is you earn, if your job sucks and you hate getting up every day for 30 years, I mean that's demoralising. It's depressing. What a depressing thought. All that money will not buy you enough happiness that the time you spent in work when it's so miserable. So that's something to think about anyway. I hope you enjoy the video. If you like the channel, please subscribe. You know, scroll through my other videos. You know, post your comments below. You know, I wish you much success and good luck.